March Madness is almost here, and so now is the time to fill out your bracket. Our next guest says that bracket format is also a great way to think through difficult financial decisions. Today we're talking about a money bracket with Jeff Anthony of Wilde Wealth Management Group. Jeff, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
We're glad you're here. So give us the idea of a money bracket.
Yeah.
What is it? How does it work?
So I want you to think about a money bracket as a prioritization tool, right? So what it's going to do is it's basically competing two different objectives that you have, so goals, financial goals that you want, and then prioritizing them on which one's going to get you the most bang for your buck over the long run, right? So
yeah, sure.
Maybe something that you want today that you might need for the next month, as opposed to something like saving for retirement 30 years down the road.
Why do people often struggle with sort of prioritizing their financial goals?
You know what? Because money gets stretched in so many different ways. So, you really got to have a plan or a bracket put in place and saying, hey, these are what our goals are going to be, and making sure that you're staying very focused on this, because you get pulled in so many different ways, and money's emotional.
Yeah,
so
sure.
If you don't have something put in place there, it's gonna, your emotional heartstrings are gonna pull at you, and money's gonna get put in a bunch of different places.
Yeah, it's easy to go astray. So let's talk about sort of the first round of the bracket, the 16th seed versus the 1 seed. What normally wins in the first round?
Yeah, so I mean, the biggest thing is gonna move the momentum the most, right? So it's usually high interest debt that you have, whether it's a credit card or auto loans or things like that. It's really something that's gonna advance you to kind of separate you from the big pack.
Okay, how about the debate over emergency savings versus investing in, say, a longer-term goal like retirement? Where do you come down on that?
Yeah, so obviously both are really, really important. It's all about making sure, again, which one is going to put you in the most safe and stable place first. So savings is always going to be that emergency savings that you have. Having 3 to 6 months there is going to make it so you, in the event that you run into some type of car breaks down, tire pops, or an AC goes down, you have enough money where you don't have to access any of your investments. So that's where I would start with your prioritization.
Make sure that emergency fund is built up first, and then tackle some of the longer term goals. What about, let's say, saving for kids' college?
Yeah, so I always preach, and this is one of the big things, so you always want to make sure, as I'm a parent of 3, making sure that you're stable. So making sure that you're set for retirement. The more stable that you can be, your kids or friends or family can lean on you. So it's definitely a priority there, but you always want to make sure that you have all of your eggs in a row first.
Sure. And
then use that as a kind of a next stepping stone.
So I mean, we've talked a lot about sort of the unfun goals, right? The things that you gotta do, gotta have kids' retirement funding. But what about some of the fun things? The trip, the home edition. Where do you put that on the bracket?
Yeah, so once you kind of have a good glide path put in place, and let's say you're going into the brackets and you're doing really well, and you have a little bit of flexibility, whether that's a raise or some windfall that came down, you always want to make sure that you reward yourself, just because you're doing all this hard work, you're staying very strategic in that planning, but you also got to have fun, because tomorrow's not promised. But I wouldn't go as far as saying like the YOLO thing, but you always want to make sure that you're staying the course, but also rewarding yourself.
Exactly. It's like having a cheat day when you're on a diet or something like that. Helps you stay on track. Jeff Anthony is with Wilde Wealth Management Group. We do that bracket every year. Talk to Jeff if you need more information. Jeff, thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having me.